Sitting there on the couch is actually my spacesuit. So
oh wow,
that's the one I wore in space. Can you go? This is the actual one I wore in space. So so I wore this during all the what I'll call dangerous maneuvers: launch, docking, undocking, reentry, those sorts of things.
Now this is. David had mentioned this sort of, when you came back, this sort of was sort of a revelation or a life change once you got back and sort of leading to this lifestyle change. I was wondering if you could, for a second, a little bit tell me
it's interesting. So I would have absolutely described myself as an environmentalist before I even went.
Right.
But what's interesting about that description, and by the way, all of the personal charitable activity that I was involved in would be things like I'm a major contributor to the Nature Conservancy, because I find it to be a very nice apolitical way to set aside property in perpetuity.
Right.
And so that's one of my favorite charities. However, if you look at my personal life, while I would describe myself as an environmentalist, my home was almost the antithesis. The amount of money that I spent on this house from a power consumption was just enormous. The fleet of gas guzzling cars that I had was also noteworthy. And you'll still see out here, because of all the collecting that I do, I generate a very large amount of trash.
Right.
And so I have numerous roll-off trash containers that I take to the street every week. And but seeing the Earth from space, it's interesting that it kind of here's sort of the way that seeing the Earth from space builds on your impression, and why I think that it would be incredibly invaluable if we could get any significant percentage of the population of the Earth to have this same opportunity, which I think would be changing for society across the globe.
Right.
After you've seen all these fertile parts of the Earth, there is no fertile part of the Earth you've ever seen that is not fully occupied by people. It's either a farm or a city.
Right.
And there were really no exceptions. The only thing that would be close to an exception would be places that were incredibly hostile to humanity. Deserts, which still had roads and terraforming.
Right.
Deep parts of the Amazon,
right.
which is mostly being built out, except where it's really, really swampy.
Yeah.
Or high Arctic mountains, where the snow-covered caps are being ignored. But even in the valleys, there's roads and dams and stuff all through the valleys. And so you realize that the footprint of humanity upon the surface of the Earth is stunningly complete.
Yeah.
And then kind of the final kicker is when you see things like all the forest fires in the Amazon and throughout Africa, and just the amount of smoke, the kind of yellow-brown smoke that covers those continents 24 hours a day and has since my father's time or before. And really, really moving. And that's really, in a long story, that's really what kind of makes you sit back and go, you're inspired to not only walk the walk better on my own, here in my own home, but also as an investor and as an entrepreneur, I'm much more interested in environmental activities. And so both as my investment pattern and donation pattern and future business patterns have all shifted based upon these same revelations.
Right.